Hello, Mr. Brown here, your science teacher. Join me today as we explore the science of animal behavior. Behavior is how an animal responds to stimuli. Like these cows are all facing the same way towards the summer sunshine, but what is stimuli? All right, so a stimulus is a change in the environment that can be detected by a sense organ and bring about a response, such as if you feel a hot frying pan, your response is to let go. Here's another example. This millipede is walking along and we're going to boop it right on the head, and its response is to curl up in a spiral. So think about some of your responses to stimuli. For example, how do you respond to the smell of fresh foods being grilled? And how do you respond to hearing a song by Nickelback on the radio? Animals will respond to stimuli. That's called behavior, like these guys are snuggling up for warmth. Let's take a look at a couple interesting animal behaviors, like affection. These two lions showing affection for one another, or the way a squirrel will hide on the other side of the tree when it sees you coming. Some behaviors are innate, and that means the animal already knows how to do them right when they're born. Like nobody taught this spider how to make this cool white X mark in the middle of its web. This stuff is instinctive. Nobody taught these birds how to construct these amazing nests. It was already pre-programmed in their brain when they were born, just like these fish returning back to the stream where they were born. Even humans have innate behaviors like the grip of a young baby or even the suckling reflex. Changing a behavior is called learning. This chimpanzee has learned to use a stick to find ants. This deer has learned not to be afraid of people anymore and come in for a snack. This blackbird has learned how to use a stick as a tool and poke for grubs inside this log. This sea otter has learned how to use a rock on its belly to crack open clamshells. Some animals can learn some pretty complex behaviors, like this bird who has learned to listen to other birds and change and modify its song. Even some elephants will learn compassion and sympathy for a member of their herd that has died. And who has taught this orangutan how to smoke cigarettes? That's just wrong. The early studies in animal behavior were done by Dr. Pavlov, who would ring a bell every time he'd feed his dog. After a while, just by ringing the bell, the dog would salivate, knowing that food was coming. This is called classical conditioning. This was famously done on an episode of The Office where Jim would classically condition Dwight with a mint every time Jim would reboot his computer. Another form is called operant conditioning, where you give the animal a reward if they do good behaviors or give a punishment if they do bad behaviors. If you understand how to do this, you can train animals. This orca is receiving a treat for doing a good job with tricks in the pool. You can even train elephants to perform some pretty remarkable tricks. It's a good thing us humans are so advanced that this would never work on us. Oh, actually, this works quite well on humans. Imprinting is a behavior where young animals will follow the first thing they see after being born. These baby ducks, the first thing they saw was mama duck, and they follow it. Biologists can use imprinting to help. Here are cranes, which have lost their mom, and the biologist is feeding them through a puppet because the cranes were imprinted on the biologist. This biologist had these birds imprinted at birth, and he's using an ultralight plane to teach them how to migrate. Migration is another behavior where animals will move from one region to another. Here we see crabs migrating down the beach. Here's a very famous sight in Wisconsin as geese will migrate south for the winter. Even at the bottom of the ocean, we see the migration of lobsters in a single file line. One of the greatest migrations in the world happens up in the Arctic tundra, the caribou migration. Another behavior is the courtship ritual. This male peacock is trying to get the attention of the female. She doesn't really care. Nice try anyway, guy. Here is a young frog who is trying to find a mate by croaking with his big expandable throat pouch. Sometimes males will have to fight other males to get the attention of females. These males are going to settle this by banging their heads together. Some males will fight over females in territory, like these giraffes. Some of these territorial male fights will get bloody, as we see with these two elephant seals who have been battling each other all afternoon. It's a good thing us humans are so advanced that we don't fight each other for. Oh, actually, maybe we do. A good way to avoid a fight is a behavior called the threat display. This crocodile is displaying a threat to other crocs in hopes of avoiding a big fight. Here we see an owl giving a nice threat display saying, "Stay away." This elk is giving a nice threat display with a sound and those big antlers. And there's no mistaking the threat display of this cottonmouth snake. It's a good thing us humans are so advanced that we don't do a threat display. Oh, actually, we do. Society is a group of individuals that cooperate for the benefit of all. A great example of a society is a prairie dog town where some of the members will graze for food while others stand guard for predators. I also like the society of ants where they will organize themselves into all these different rooms. And one of the most impressive animal societies is the beehive. In order to have a society, you need to communicate. Animals will communicate in all different ways. This society of fireflies is communicating through bioluminescence. This society of wolves is communicating through howling. You can even communicate underwater, such as the song of the humpback whale. Another way to communicate is to have a big red butt. This creature right here, the white-tailed deer, is communicating by scraping its antlers on a tree, and you can even communicate by chemicals, as seen with this tiger spraying pheromones onto a tree. Thanks for joining me today on the science of animal behavior. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.